Live. Does it feel good to be sleeping on a bed?
Catching up on a lot of sleep, on a lot.
It's a good thing. Always feels good.
Oh yeah, I gotta send you that. Well, no, I sent you that intro.
The intro? What intro?
The we'll talk about it.
Oh, I see it now. Sure. Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we could talk about it. And all right. Ready?
Yep.
What's up, sports fans? Welcome to Untapped Keg Sports, part of the Believe Podcast Network. Here, I'm one of your hosts, RJ Zimmerman, with my good friend, the Alpha Dog, number one, Monte Ball, brand new owner of a PS5. What's up, big dog?
Yes, indeed. All is well, man. I'm catching up as we shared earlier, catching up on a lot of sleep. Um, just been moving, obviously, and taking care of that. It's just how that you most definitely know how that goes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Most definitely
Haven't
know
done
how
that for
goes.
years.
Say what?
I said haven't done it for years.
Right? Yeah, that man. Things are good. Things are most definitely good.
Awesome.
How about you?
I got nothing to complain about. Still in that honeymoon phase, being in a new place.
Right.
Things are looking up. Things are looking good. Starting to get things put together for the show, obviously. Yeah, just getting the new schedule down for the kids and going from there. So, this is my favorite time of year for sports. I mean, you got anything and everything you could want. You want good football? Obviously, there's good football, unless we're talking about the Wisconsin Badgers. Then you want good baseball? It's the best time of the year for baseball. It doesn't
Right.
matter who you're a fan of. This is the best time of year for baseball.
Right.
You want some NBA action? Guess what? NBA's starting up. Let's go. Bucks in 6, baby. Bucks in 6. And then, NHL's starting up. If you want NHL, you want some good soccer. Like, we got FIFA World Cup qualifying going on, so we got really good soccer. A lot of things to get excited about if you're a US national team fan. This is my favorite time of the year. And there's just so much optimism, so much hope around sports, but then it can go to every other part of your life as well. Like, the weather's like perfect long sleeve t-shirt weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fantastic. That's how I feel.
It's a good time. It's most definitely a good time. There's no shortage of good stuff to watch on TV at all.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on TV around this time. Picking up holiday season, a lot of fun stuff, real festive moments, I shall say. A lot of more decor. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time, but of course, we're here to talk sports. We're not here to talk decorations. We're not here to talk Halloween, bull crap, none of that. We're here to talk sports. What the heck's going on in the sports world?
Well, let's start it off. I kind of alluded to it a little bit, but we're going to approach this in a different way because both of us are kind of sick and tired of um, talking about it from the same perspective. But we
Right.
have to talk about Wisconsin Badger football and what we have been seeing. So,
Have to.
number one, okay, I think we're done dogging the players. We're done dogging the coaches. Everybody knows how we feel. Everybody knows how disappointed we are. But we want to talk about it in a different perspective. If you want X's and O's, you want that perspective, there's podcasts out there for you.
Yeah.
Now we're going to look at it more from a mental health perspective and from just an all around perspective because it's, let's put it out there, a lost season. It is a lost season. What do you do in a lost season that, you need to show improvement, but
Right.
they're not having fun. There's no fun being had at all with this team, period. Whether it be from a fan perspective, whether it be from a coaching perspective or a playing perspective. What are you seeing in that terms?
Yeah. I mean, I think when you do look at this season right now, the only opportunity right now that the Badgers have for a very successful season is if Penn State beats Iowa, and if we beat Iowa. That is a scenario where we can kind of sneak ourselves back into the conversations of it being a really good season. But the chances of that happening currently right now are slim, just based on the way that those two teams are playing and based on the way that the Badgers are playing. What I'm seeing right now, man, is I see a bunch of players who are nervous, worried. They're at times you can catch them apologizing in the media to alumni and stuff like that. So they feel a lot of pressure on them. They feel a significant amount of pressure on them. And I think that is obviously taken away from the joy of the game. That can happen. It most definitely can happen. And that's why I also want to address this too. I know that we can be critical, super critical. We're very passionate, of course. But at the end of the day, we are always in, at least, speak for myself, always in the Badgers' corner. Through thick and thin. And at the end of the day, they are kids. They're kids dealing with a lot of stuff. But got to call a spade a spade. Got to call it what it is. This is a disappointing season up to this point. The players don't look like they're having fun. Not at all. And that's the disheartening part. That's the part that just hurts the most when you think about it, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game.
And that's the biggest thing. That's something that we've talked about a lot.
Right.
Is when we watch college sports, we understand that these are kids. Like,
Yeah.
whether they're making money from their name, image, and likeness, they're kids and they're amateurs.
Right.
You are learning how to be a professional at this level. You don't learn it in high school, right? So
Exactly.
to see them be so disheartened and apologizing to alumni, I know there's a lot of Badger football program, there's a lot of expectations. So when you're disappointing, it's hard. It's hard to find joy. It's hard to find fun. It's hard to find, silver linings at that point. When we're critical, obviously, I completely agree with you. We're always in the Badgers' corner.
Always.
Critical out of a place of love. Like, we want the best for you. It is almost like you're a family. You expect the best from your family. Now, you may not get it. You're going to be highly critical. Like, your biggest critics are generally your family members, right?
So true. So true.
But they're also your biggest supporters. And I don't know anybody who's just like done with everything, like whatever. Like, no, they're always going to support who you are as a person, as long as you be good people. Like,
true. Sorry, man.
No, that's fine. Don't fall into your cheap shots. Don't be doing. I changed my lighting too. So, but don't cheap shot. Like, don't get frustrated. Take it out on other teams. Like, try not to hurt people. Get better every week. That's all you can do. And how do you find fun though in a season that could be lost? Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this as a player. That's difficult. That's something that this coaching staff has to do. Because when you're having fun, it's easier to improve.
It's easy to coach. Exactly. It's easy to take constructive criticism when you're winning. It's easier to wake up in the morning and go to workouts when you're winning. Yeah, this is a really great point. Yeah. How do you, this is where Coach Chris, Rudolph, Bostad, all these guys, Jimmy Leonard, this is where they make their money. This is where you make your money as a coach because, yeah, how do you motivate a team to still keep pushing forward when everybody can kind of see the writing on the wall? That we are on track for this not to be a winning season. We may scratch and claw just to get to become bowl eligible this year. So yeah, this is where the coaches make their money. This is where the athletic director, obviously it's a new one this year, but let's be honest, Alvarez still has his fingers and toes in there. This is where he and them make their money as well and feel a little comfortable about who they placed, as the coaches for this team. Because yeah, this is where it matters. How do you motivate these kids, these young men, to still wake up and play their hardest when, chances are they're not going to be in Indianapolis this year? Yeah.
So if you're a coach, how do you do it? What do you do to make some fun? Because this is us like spitballing here. Right. We already said you've never had this, like, I never had issues having fun playing a sport. So, but I understand, like, when you put this much time in and it feels like a job, how you could get down and it just, getting stuck in that rut. We've talked about on our other podcast a lot. That happens. So let's spitball a little bit. Let's come up with some ideas here. We're not talking about going out at night and playing tag with the team and like have a lock in to increase, team morals here, but right. Or team morale.
I mean, right now as a coach, this is where you talk to the players about heart. This is where you talk to the players about, their why. Why are you playing? Why are you really playing? Are you playing really just to get wins? Or what else are you usually playing for? Many times, more times than not, players are playing for many other reasons than just a W in the win column. Players are playing for, they're the first person, generationally speaking, to go to college from their family. So they want to obviously continue that track of being a successful individual. Some people are playing to obviously make it to the next level. So they're trying to perform, continuously put great work on tape because they know the scouts are watching every single game. So, when it comes to being a coach at this moment, if it was myself, I talk to the players about that. I ask them, what is your why? What is your why? Why are you doing this? And then obviously 98% of them are going to give you those answers I just gave you. And they say, well, that those opportunities are still there for you. They're still there for you. So still come out, still grind, still play extremely hard because you still want to make your family proud. You still want to go to that next level and play and wear your name on your jersey, etc. Those opportunities are still here for those players. Now, for being a winning season, that's difficult. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit challenging. But again, hopefully that motivation that I just shared obviously helps out the, byproduct of that is wins in the W column.
Honestly, here's something, my opinion. I love that. I think that is great. Wins may not come for this team. Like that's something that, we're accepting as a fan base. So showing improvement, being there for the person next to you, that's huge, right? Yeah. How do you bring added cohesion, bring that feeling that I'm not playing necessarily for myself. I'm also playing for this guy next to me. I'm also playing for that guy. I'm also playing for the guy on the other side of the field. Like this might be one of the, and this is no joke, this might be one of the best Badger defenses like ever. Yeah. But this offense is just such a letdown that it's going to go under the radar. Right. How do you get people to play for the other side and just show improvement, period? That's all you really need is improvement.
Just to build. Yeah, just to build. And that's the mindset that you have to have right there is play for the guys next to you, play for your family. And if you focus on those two things right there, grinding away at those two things, the rest will fall in place. and the fun will start to come back. Yeah, yeah, it obviously, yeah, it's not fun losing, and winning is fun, but watching these last two fourth quarters really makes the statement that these guys are not having a lot of fun. Um, when the team puts up, and even it's not even on the defense either. It's pick sixes a lot of the times, or a fumble where the defense is placed in a very poor, field position where they got 10 yards to go for a touchdown. We're talking 48 points in the last two fourth quarters. 30 against Notre Dame. That was scored against us, in 18 last week. I mean, this team really has got to work on finishing, and then two, I just want to see that fun. I want these guys to have fun again. I really do.
Honestly, it starts, something happens that's kind of funny. Coach Chris laughing and giving the player a high five, letting them know it's going to be okay. Legit, just show them that it's just a game and there's things that outside of it that matter just as much, if not more. Like that, that is, in my opinion, like, as a leader, you start to show you can have fun even in moments of despair, even in moments of disappointment. There's still times that you can have fun. And that's what they have to just rediscover, because last year, this team had no fun. They had fun in the first two games. COVID hit. No fun after that. You could see it the way that they played. There was no fun to be had. Since we've come into this year, it's the same thing. It's like it's 100% business, which is fine, because we had big expectations for this team. They had big expectations for themselves. Not hitting those expectations. Now you need to bring some fun, and it's more than just business, right? It's time for life lessons. It's time, and not the wrong life lessons. It's time to start the right life lessons.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get situated on my chair here, but you're spot on, man. You're spot on, because again, we were on the outside looking in. At the end of the day, we're just speculating here, and that's what I wanted to share as well. This last interview I did. With the state, I wanted to make those statements of, at the end of the day, you don't owe us an apology. You're not playing for you're not just playing for us former players. And what I mean by that is just, upholding the image, the name of the brand, etc. You're most definitely playing for yourself and the guys side by side, because again, we're at the end of the day, we're just talking heads. We're just speculating. But if you are a player right now and you stumble across this, or you stumble across anything else that we've shared previously, please just know that we get it. We understand. There's more to it than just what meets the eye. We get it here at Untapped Kick. We most definitely do. But we just want for you to have fun. Yep. We want to see that fun back. Lose, but have fun. That's my wish. That is my wish.
I agree. I want to see them not completely dejected and not completely down and in the gutter. I want to see the mental well-being of the athletes come up, because this is the most fun you're going to have in your life. Like, legit, colleges. There's going to be other moments where you're going to have just as much fun and maybe a little bit more, but they turn into moments and it's not times, right?
Yes.
Because you're going to be in the workforce, whether that is playing at a professional level in the sport, or whether it is you go back into the workforce and you do something else. Yeah. It's not all like, a few people are lucky they get to do exactly what they wanted to do. And that becomes a time that's also fun. But you look back at your college years and there's just a different kind of a memory. And I want those memories to be good for them. I don't want these memories to be just, man, the expectations that we had and we couldn't live up to it. And this goes to, I'm just going to call it straight out. This goes to Graham Mertz as well. Like, we put expectations on you that were unfair as a fan base. And it's not your fault if you can't hit it. That's just how it is. Nothing happens in a vacuum, right?
So true.
Nothing happens in a vacuum. We don't know we don't know all the surrounding aspects, right, of anything.
We don't know what post-COVID is like.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
they have a diagnosis, I think, and please, I'm not an expert, so please do your own research. But I think they have something that's called like post-COVID symptom that they're finally.
There's long term. Call it long COVID, and it's like your brain is fuzzy.
That's what it's called.
Like, I've seen. I actually have a friend that on Facebook talking about it. Like they have not been able to think clear since they've had it. Like there's always blocks in their brains where they can't think of everything.
Yeah. A person a good friend of mine, she said the same thing. So yeah, I bring that up because obviously, Mertz had COVID, or we don't know if he's experiencing long COVID, and we don't know what that's like. So again, at the end of the day, we're gonna be critical, but we want for our fan base, and we want for the players to know that as well, where it's because it comes from a place of love, if that makes sense. We're very critical on the folks that we care about, in a respectful manner. So yeah, for me, man, to kind of finish that point, if I'm the coach, this is where you make your money. Mm-hmm. This is where you take strides as a coach, because at the end of the day, it's easy to coach when you're winning. Actual real coaching comes about when adversity strikes. So we'll see.
And run some trick plays. Have some fun that way, right? Like that's another way. That's another way to bring some fun back to the team.
You're right.
Blitz a cornerback. Blitz a cornerback to sack the quarterback. Like, dance a little bit on the sidelines. Like, it's time to have some fun. It's time for some leaders to step up and show that you can have some fun. Jump around comes on. Jump around. Have some fun with the fans, right? So doesn't all have to be business and serious. So moving on from that. I want to talk about this because the connection with you, and obviously the storyline that it's going to be. Coach B facing Wisconsin. Brett Bielema facing where he made his name, where he made his mark, where he had some very successful seasons. And I would say some not just disappointing ones, but like underperforming.
Yes.
For what should have happened.
Yes.
How much emotions do you think Coach B is going to have facing the Wisconsin side? And how much do you think Coach Christ and Coach Bielema still have a friendship?
Yeah. This is going to be a tough game, man. So, because, on paper, but many people got Wisconsin winning, obviously. I haven't even checked the spread yet, but I'm assuming it's probably at least 6.5 for Wisconsin. Possibly more, actually. It's probably more than that. But to me, this is a dangerous game because you're playing a game with a coach that is going to be extremely emotional this game for obvious reasons. Very emotionally driven game this is going to be. And in my opinion, I believe that Bielema doesn't have really much to lose.
Yep.
Because he's not supposed to win. And that makes him even more dangerous when he's just coming to the table with nothing to lose, so he has nothing to prove. And I think I think the pressure's on the Badgers, so it's going to be a closer game than most people believe. If you want my honest take, and I'm going to keep it the same as the take I had elsewhere, is I do believe the Badgers are going to fall short. I do. I do.
The Badgers are 11-point favorites right now.
11. Okay. I still don't. My gut is telling me Badgers are going to fall short because of many reasons. If you look at every single aspect, I was going to say facet, but every single aspect of our game, facet. Let's go with that. The one that worries me the most, that allows for underdog teams to win, is special teams. Period.
Sure.
Period. And our special teams is very poor. And that's where underdog teams win. That's where they get the field position. Appalachian State a while back was in the freaking field goal, was it, or an extra point or something they blocked in return?
It was a field goal, yeah.
Yeah, special teams. That's where underdogs win, and I feel like we're underperforming in that field big time. and they're going to exploit it.
For sure. That's that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dogging, I've been called predicting a loss pretty much on every single game except for Eastern Michigan. So obviously, I think the Badgers are going to have troubles winning every single week. I'm excited to see what Coach B looks like on the sidelines because I haven't seen Illinois play at all this year. So I'm just excited to see the emotion that he's coaching with. I'm excited to see some poor clock management on that side for obvious reasons. I think everybody who's a Wisconsin fan knows and just chuckled a little bit. I'm excited for this matchup just for the Bielema aspect. I don't care about the football aspect, really. It's
going to be like 90% of the viewers.
I view Bielema the same way I view Mike McCarthy, and that's should have done a lot more with what he had while he was here. I appreciate the accomplishments that happened because he did accomplish some pretty high stuff here. You know,
he's great at recruiting.
That's what I was gonna say. Russell Wilson comes to Wisconsin partially because of Bielema.
Yeah,
it's true. That is the truth. Yeah. And so you don't have the Russell Wilson Wisconsin storyline without Bielema. Right. I'm very disappointed with the way that he left. Like, that left such a bad taste. But the reason he left, I don't think was a bad reason. Wisconsin would not pay assistant coaches, period. That's why he left.
That's what confused us the most is like, dude, the decision you made, we all would have made, but why didn't you just tell us?
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, please continue. So, yeah, I want to hear your take.
Honestly, I want to see if there still is a friendship between Chris and Bielema beyond just cordial professional relationship between Big Ten coaches. I'm gonna guess and say that there is. I think that Bielema was instrumental in helping Chris get, just like Alvarez, in helping Chris get to a head coaching job. I think Alvarez was just as instrumental in that. And my guess is that Chris respects the heck out of Bielema, and Bielema probably respects the heck out of Chris. So I'm excited to see the hug because I'm guessing there's not going to be a handshake. I'm guessing it's going to be a hug. And that's going to be kind of cool to see, despite how I feel. As far as the product that's going to be on the field, this is going to be an ugly game. It's going to be an ugly game. And I don't know how good of a coach Brett Bielema is, period. We'll see when he gets his recruiting classes. He's going to have some growing pains.
Yeah.
He needs to nail his assistant coaches, for sure. He needs to nail them in order to grow that program. I think he'll get some talent there. But as far as being able to coach up talent that's there, that's not quote unquote his, I don't know how good of a coach he is. So
right.
This is going to be one of the last games that I feel like Wisconsin has a chance to win this year. I'm not going to predict very many, but they are not going to cover 11.
Army.
They're not. I don't know if they can beat Army. I don't know who this Wisconsin team, this offense can beat, to be honest.
No, honestly, you got a fair point, dude. We're all in the same where it's like we just don't know. But what we do know is our ball security on offense and special teams is there's probably no probably to it. It is, I would put my bottom dollar on it. It is probably the worst in the country. It's
comical. It's comical. So
if I'm Coach B, we all know how Coach B plays. Coach B, you guys remember 2010 fake punt against Iowa. I mean, this guy will roll the dice on special teams. Absolutely will roll the dice and do some trick stuff on special teams. That's where they beat us. I'm telling you, that's where they're going to beat us. Special teams. They're going to beat us in special teams. And that's going to be the unfortunate part. I hope I'm wrong, but my gut's saying that's where they beat us. Coach B is aggressive on special teams.
Yeah, it's going to be an emotional game at the start, I think, for Bielema and Christ. Obviously, the players, I think the players will feel it a little bit, but I don't know if they'll understand it as much. You know, Rudolph, too, the coaches that were there, obviously.
It's emotional. That's why I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Absolutely. I want to see if these players can find something to be uplifted by. Hopefully the coaches can do something. And that's what I would like to see. So we'll see come tomorrow what happens. I'm not going to predict this one because I don't want to be negative. I'm kind of sick of being negative.
What's nothing wrong with? So we've shared that. We owe our fan at the end of the day. Hopefully the players understand this. Again, we will ride with you players to the end of time, but our listeners deserve true take.
All right.
I love Badger. I'm a Badger till I die, but my prediction is we don't win this game.
I'm gonna say the final score is gonna be very shocking. Yeah. It's going to be Wisconsin 10, Illinois 24. And I think it's going to be put away by the fourth quarter.
Special teams or our defense giving up points? I don't think we're...
No. Well, I mean, I think they're going to be given short fields, right?
Yep.
And then whether it be special teams or turnovers. Yep. I just don't see... Unless they bring something that they haven't brought, right?
Right.
So hopefully they can strategize and we can see something. But yeah, you're right about needing to be true to our fans. So
our listeners,
I'll be negative, I guess.
I mean, that's not even.
I don't see myself predicting this Wisconsin team to beat anybody for the rest of the year. I'm telling you that right now. I don't see myself predicting that.
And that's here's again, we're Badger fans. We want our Badgers to win, but yes, our listeners, you guys deserve our honest takes. And RJ's take, Badgers do not sneak out of Illinois with a win. Same for me. I think special teams is going to be the deciding factor of this game. And yeah, those 24 points are going to be given up on the defense, but short fields I blame on special teams. Especially if that defense is always out on the field, it's going to be very tiresome.
And that's the thing. One big play, you could be you taking a gamble because you know that you need to make an interception. You know that you need to make a play. That's when you're susceptible to the big play, and that's what I see happening. So,
honest, fair take. So we got two losses. I think I got Illinois.
I'm wrong.
I mean, last time we were in Illinois, different team, but we lost.
And
even though, different teams, but
Jonathan Taylor,
we were a better team on offense. And here's the thing: I get it, different teams, but darn well they're watching that tape. Yeah, they're watching the tape from last year where Mertz went off 5 touchdowns. Where they're watching that one too, but guaranteed they're watching 2 years ago as well. So. It's going to be a battle.
So moving from one bad special teams team to another, and the Green Bay Packers, they come away with that big win at Lambeau against the Steelers. Did you get to catch any of the game at all?
Big, I actually did.
The only reason I say big is because it put them at 3-1, and it gave them, control of the NFC North.
Steelers that offense is atrocious.
It's not, in my opinion, it's not necessarily the offense. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
You think?
Yes. Watching that game, here's what I want to talk about. The Packers are in trouble. Special teams and defense, they have massive holes. Massive
Yes.
holes. If they aren't called offsides on that block kick at the end of the half, we're probably talking about a 2-2 Packer team. And then, so you have holes on your defense, you have holes on your special teams, you're giving up long returns constantly. You're almost getting, block kicks constantly. And it's coming from Robert Tunyon's side. So do you need to get Robert Tunyon out of there and put somebody else in? Probably at this point, because Tunyon's showing he doesn't care about blocking. He's just, it's like 3 kicks in a row that it came Tunyon's side.
What was this? Extra point?
That was blocked.
Punt?
This is field goals. Field goals and
okay.
extra points.
Gotcha.
The game winner, I didn't know it was this close till I saw a screenshot. The game winner against San Francisco was almost blocked. It went over the guy's hand by like less than an inch, by like half an inch.
Wow.
So we could be talking about a 1-3 Packer team pretty easily. And it starts that defense minus Jair Alexander. Who are you relying on in that secondary? Like that's even when Alexander was there. Alexander gave up a touchdown, but he was right on him like glue. It was good coverage on that touchdown. It was just a good throw and a good catch.
Yeah, sometimes
it happens, right?
Yeah, that's what quarterbacks getting paid too.
After that, Alexander gave up nothing. Comes up on that big third down stop, and then might have ended his season hurting his shoulder. So he's not playing this week.
Is King still out?
King's out with a concussion.
Right, I saw that. King's out too. Yeah,
Stokes has been playing well, but he's still young. So, that defense, if Ben Roethlisberger is league average in that game, that defense gives up at least 2 touchdowns. What do you think's wrong? Big Ben.
What do you think's wrong?
Roethlisberger, they said that he's dealing with a hip issue. But
he's old, man.
Dude missed 4 touchdowns at least. He missed 4.
Who's their backup?
It's still Duck Hodges.
Okay.
So, or no, they also have Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if he's on the active roster or not, but they picked up Dwayne Haskins.
Like, hold on, I could have swore there.
Yeah, but I know Hodges is still there because I saw him on the sideline.
Who do you guys have this week?
The Bengals. I don't think they're beating the Bengals.
The Bengals 3-1, or were they?
Their offense is really good, and their defense is like league average.
So, I saw that the other day.
And they beat good teams, right? They beat good teams so far. So, dude, this Bengals team is for real. Like Joe Burrow's playing lights out. I honestly think that, dude, this offense. That's another thing I was gonna say. This offense had a chance to put the Steelers away twice, and they didn't. So you're having issues with the defense not communicating. Obviously, they made some really nice plays. Obviously, they stopped them. They should have given up probably 2 more touchdowns, if not 3, on these long passes that Roethlisberger missed. They didn't, though, and there's something to be said for that. But now you're minus your best defensive player. You are getting some pressure. Some of it, I wish that they'd be able to get a little bit more. So you're having these issues giving up the deep ball. You can't finish the game on offense. Goes back to the San Francisco game. You couldn't score a touchdown to put it away, right? You let them come. So you left the door open and they came back and took the lead. Granted, you won, but you got to put points on the board. As the coach has said, all gas, no effing break. But for some reason, they get 24 points and they have issues putting the game away. They need to put up 40 is what they need to do. Yeah.
For you. 2 questions. Okay, so one, in your opinion, and let me get to the second question before you go on it.
Okay.
But in your opinion, which coverage do you think that this defense is performs best in? And I'm not saying, give me a breakdown each game of 50% man, the other 50% zone. Like, no, honestly, with the personnel, what do you think they function the best at? This
Did
deep.
you want me to answer before the second one?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
just
Man
quick
to
answer.
man.
Man to man. Okay. What were and then the second question, the last team, who are these teams that they've played? They played the 49ers, they've played the
The
Lions,
Saints, the Lions, and the Steelers.
Saints, Lions, Steelers. Okay.
I see you thinking. What do
Well,
you
yeah,
think it's
because
so hard about?
well, because I'm trying to get a breakdown real quick of these teams. Who was their players? What are these players
That's the thing.
do? Like, are they better covered? You know what I mean, when they're in zone, man. I'm trying to do that whole breakdown right now live, but I'll have to come back with that next time.
So
Because
the level of
'cause my-
competition is unknown at this point.
okay, because that's really my question. What are they? What is this defense's identity? Because to me, I don't understand how they're so bad compared to last year. What is it? Almost the same pieces?
It's pretty much exactly the same pieces, different middle linebacker. And that's really the big change. Minus Zadarius Smith.
How do you go from you guys' defense was like top 5 last season, possibly arguably top 3, to now you're literally at the bottom?
And the
of
safety position last year, one of their strengths was the safety position. Their safeties balled out last year. And their safeties are just, it's miscommunication after miscommunication. Like, they're playing better last week than they were the week before. But it's just like, I don't understand what is happening. If it's just this complicated of a defense, or
But it just doesn't happen though, because they ran it last year. So something is.
no, it's
and
different. It's different scheme.
Is it?
Yeah, it's different scheme.
Okay.
Because
Never.
yeah, they have a new defensive coordinator. But you're right, they were top 5 defense.
Yeah. I did not. That slipped. I did not. That slipped through me. I did not know
You
that.
didn't know that?
I actually did
They
not.
had
No.
Mike Pettin last year, and then this year they have Joe Barry.
Oh, well, then that makes sense. Wow. See, I need to stay on top of my Green Bay Packers
But
stats.
you had
Heavy
the
block.
personnel to be good last year, right? I would argue very good. And then this year, those same personnel, you have people struggling, like budding stars, like Savage. He just has not been where he needs to be sometimes. Adrian Amos was like your anchor, and he's just out of position all the time. And it just, I don't understand where the communication breakdown is. I don't know if it's because Chandon Sullivan just doesn't understand what he's doing in the slot. Obviously Kevin King, just, it was massive miscommunications there when he was playing. The defense has played better without Kevin King, which tells you a little bit of something, but
not a surprise.
Honestly, no. Eric Stokes has looked good. After that, it's just, I'm worried about this Packer team. I don't think they're winning Sunday, unless on offense they have a game where they score every single time they get the ball. But Aaron Rodgers missed 3 throws last week to put the Steelers away, and he knew he missed them all. And they were good routes, as just poor throws. It was on Aaron Rodgers that they did not put the Steelers away. I would not put the 49er game on Aaron Rodgers that they didn't put him away.
I got you. You want to talk about missed throws? Way off topic, but we're going to stay on your topic. But missed throws, Tom Brady. Whoa!
Right. I mean, everybody has it, right? Everybody has those games, but you got to be able to, with this defense, this lack of a defense, and this has been how it's been your entire career. You have to be able to put these teams away, and you have a really aggressive coach, which I love. But you in that end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, you got to put these teams away, and you just haven't been able to. It could spell, and you never know what happens. Maybe they go in and they see something and they're able to pick on this defense and move the ball. Obviously, the Bengals defense has given up some points, but this Bengals offense is a juggernaut. and they have a quarterback who's playing really well right now. I am worried the special teams is really, really poor, to put it politely, you know, but I am not convinced on this defense. I'm very disappointed in their inability to shut the door at the end of games.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, you know, when you have underdogs and special teams can let people stay around, it's there. It's there.
That's where underdog teams win. That's where they win, is special teams.
Yep.
That's where they win. Because when it comes to special teams, who's paying attention the most in special teams meetings? The teams that are at the top of the top notch, the best, those are the teams that really, really focus on the special teams. Now, when it comes to underdogs understand that that's where they can get those top dog. That's where they can get you. That's where they can get you about the field position. So it's going to be interesting, man. The Bengals are rolling right now, and the Packers seem to be, you know, they started the engine after a rough start to the year, but that bad boy's getting jammed a little bit. It's getting jammed a little bit, especially on the defensive side.
We'll see how, if it continues to get better or if there's a little bit of a floundering.
Right. I mean, similar. When they talk about the Broncos, I mean, different sides of the ball, of course, but kind of similar. Our defense is pretty good, playing pretty well. We got banged up a little bit. Obviously, we let some points on us last game, but our offensive side of the ball seems to be like the Packers defense. We are just limping along. I mean, we've got some heavy hitters. We got some running backs, that being Melvin Gordon. He can take it 70. Javonte Williams is a bruiser. Most definitely a great 1-2 punch. But now with Teddy being out, possibly not playing this upcoming week against the Steelers. Sorry, I couldn't see right there. I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see because Locke stepped in, but I'm just not confident in Locke. I'm not confident in Locke. I think the great thing that Teddy brings to the table is, as I say it, and I'll keep saying it, his decision-making while he's scrambling with the ball. He still controls the football pretty well. So similar, limping along, but somebody's got to step up.
Definitely.
Somebody's gotta. But let me rephrase that. Then just step up. You know, we just gotta keep at it. Losing against the Ravens is not the end of the. I think, but if you guys lose against the Bengals,
honestly, I don't think it's the end of the world again. You cannot win every single week, so I'm not gonna say the sky is falling, but I think that there is some philosophy challenges that this team needs to address. You know, special teams is something that the Packers, and honestly, poor defense has been the Packers' MO since the Mike Holmgren era. Like, Mike Holmgren leaves, all of a sudden you don't really have a dominant defense that carries a team. You're carried by the offense constantly. And every year your special teams is poor.
Yeah.
The only place that's not is Mason Crosby. He's been the only bright spot, right? You had Ryan Longwell as well. Like, your kicker has always been solid. But other than that, like, you've struggled finding a punter. You've struggled in return game kicks and punts. It's just, it's frustrating as a fan that it's like that the same things that you struggled against before are the same things you're struggling constantly. So that's all. That's where I'm coming from with that, and that's why I could see them losing to the Bengals and then kind of going back to the drawing board and going forward. We'll see how it goes. I mean, the Super Bowl aspirations every single year. Aaron Rodgers is quarterback, so barring a massive injury, Super Bowl aspirations is what it still is.
True. That's good. That's some good takes right there.
So,
pretty good takes right there.
Here's one I got one for you, real quick. We'll it's 5 minutes or less. D Rose is asking MVP candidates. Who do you have for MVP candidates right now?
Like, who do I have? And I see he's got Justin Herbert. Got to have Justin Herbert in the conversation. Josh Allen, absolutely. Some people are going to hate this, but Tom Brady is in there.
Really?
People are going to hate it. Last performance wasn't great, but it was super rainy. It was raining like extremely bad. That game. And then there's a fourth one. There's a fourth person I got.
I want to add two to your list.
Yeah, you go ahead and I'll grab my fourth here.
Kyler Murray.
Oh gosh,
balling out.
I don't know how I'd say Kyler.
Matthew Stafford.
He's playing, but
dude, I mean, the Rams look good. The Rams are dangerous. They're way more dangerous than they have been, and it's because of Matthew Stafford.
Okay, I'll give you that. I didn't watch it.
And then here's a dark horse that if this team continues to perform pretty well, Jalen Hurts. He's got to be on the radar.
It's early. Early.
Yeah.
He's on the French, but I will give it to Kyler abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray's MVP right now.
Good gosh, I don't know how he slipped my mind. This guy's playing like he's been in the league for a long time, and got the hair long now, and just I don't know, his braids are coming. He's balling. He's balling.
Do you think Derrick Henry might end the streak of quarterbacks winning it?
That'd be sweet.
That would be cool. I think if any non-quarterback is going to win it this year right now, it's Derrick Henry. So
I mean, when it comes to the greatest running back of our era, he's an era meaning what? Let's say last 20 years. 20 years, 15. I mean, he's up there with Adrian Peterson, and I mean, he's up there.
Is he up there with Tomlinson?
He's up there. LT.
I don't know. LT did too much, I think, in the passing game.
In 1 year. LT is unbelievable.
I think LT's up there because of his passing, but is still above him. But Henry's been catching the ball this year, so
absolutely.
They keep using him that way.
That's what I'm saying. He's up there. He's up there easily. If he continues what he's doing, he's absolutely going to go down in history as he's always going to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
When we talk about great running backs in the National Football League. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, with that, let's wish everybody a great weekend. Enjoy some sports. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Absolutely go Brewers.
Those the walk
right there. I mean,
I watched every minute of that game too. I watched every single minute. That was the first time I've watched a baseball game from first pitch to last in at least a decade. Because sometimes I'll go to the bathroom or I'll leave or I'll hop on the phone for like an inning. But no, every single pitch I watched. That is playoff baseball. Good gosh.
Well, when you're in the wild card and you won 106 games in a year, I don't know how you're in a wild card. That should not happen. Period. So let's enjoy sports this weekend, everybody. We've been Untapped Keg Sports. Find us Untapped Keg everywhere. Join us on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time to catch our mental health and sobriety podcast. Catch it in any podcast service we posted later, and then we're part of the Believe Podcast Network, presented by Bet Online. Bet responsibly. Where can they find you, Mons?
You guys can find me at MonteBall28 on Twitter, Instagram, MonteBall, Untapped Cake pages. Send us questions, topics, what have you. We'll most definitely get back to you. We most definitely appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. RJ, where can they find you? You
can find me, Untapped Keg, everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Send us messages. We'll get back to you. And then you can find me on Twitter at ITZ Trickster. The I is a 1 in Trickster. And then let's have a good weekend. Enjoy some sports. Remember, it's supposed to be fun. Badgers, remember, we're going to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And You know what? Catch us Sunday. It's gonna be a great episode. So appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.